Hello and welcome to the Fedora Files. I am Gregory Fedora. With me today is Jonathan Dodd. And Mr. Dodd, or Jonathan, whichever you want to be called, I'm happy you are here. Thank you for coming on.
No problem. Thanks for having me. You can just call me Jonathan.
All right. Well, so Jonathan, I met you at a Krampus Fest, and the first thing I saw of your work was a painting of, or drawing, I guess it was a painting of Theodore Roosevelt killing the Snallygaster. And I was like, that's amazing. And it's phenomenal. And I'm getting it framed. It's going to hang right there once it's all framed. And it
Nice.
it was awesome. Just your artwork's phenomenal. But I had to buy it right then. And you gave me the pleasure of signing it. So that was really exciting for me too. Cause I would have bought
that
it.
was a really cool event. That was a really cool event. It was really fun to go out and meet people. I'd never been to Frederick, so
Okay.
that was my first time in town, and yeah, it was nice to meet you and everybody out there. That painting was done as sort of like a collaboration with the American Snallygaster Museum with Sarah Cooper. It was actually her brainchild, and I sort of brought it to fruition. And yeah, so we sell prints of it now.
Yeah.
It turned out really cool. I think I'm really happy with it.
Yeah, it looks amazing. And so I then immediately I started following you on the Instagram and just seeing all your art. And you're like, so how did you discover your love for, I guess, painting and drawing? And what is your favorite kind of medium to do?
So I've been painting and drawing my entire life, basically. It all started basically like when I was a kid. My dad used to run a print shop in Quantico, Virginia, on the Marine base, and he would bring home these big like reams of paper, and we'd set them out on the kitchen table, and we would have art night, and we'd pull out the color pencils, the pens, the Sharpies, markers and paintbrushes, and we just go crazy, unleashing our imaginations. And that's kind of how I grew up. So it's kind of been just like instilled in me since I was a little kid. And you said, what is my favorite? What's the second part to the question?
Favorite medium? What like your style? Because I know artists all kind of have a style, like whether it's painting or drawing, like they seem to gravitate towards, or do you just do everything?
Well, I think I do everything because I'm just kind of like ADD that way. Like I kind of have to like jump project to project. I mean, I think my favorite though is just pencil and paper sketching, mostly sort of like in a like almost cartoony, like sketchy kind of way. And then my second would be more like refined painting kind of stuff. So yeah, totally different sides of the spectrum there. But yeah, like I said, I kind of have to jump around.
Okay. And now I saw through Instagram that you actually did some art that is now on a beer can. And how did that come about? Because that was really cool for me. Like when I haven't tried the beer yet, and you can tell the people the beer if you want. But like if I do get a can, I'm gonna have to hunt you down and have you sign the can, obviously.
The brewery is called Greenbrier Valley Brewing Company, and they are based in Maxwellton, West Virginia.
Okay.
And I think you can only get the beer in West Virginia right now, so you would have to make a trip for it. But it's called Braxi Blonde Ale.
Okay.
And it's sort of like it's like a very light, very easily drinked, golden ale.
So not an IPA.
It's really good. No, it's not an IPA. It's a very traditional blonde ale, and it's very it's very low in alcohol, but it's very easy to drink.
Okay.
And we based this brewery wanted to do some Cryptid beer, and I met their representative at Cryptid Bash in West Virginia. That was an event that was put on by the Moth Boys podcast. I'm not sure if you're familiar with them, but you should definitely check them out. Yeah, so they put on this event in West Virginia called Cryptid Bash, and I was vending there, and I had done a whole bunch of like sort of faux beer labels that were cryptid based,
Hmm.
and so I gave them a couple stickers, and it got back to their creative director, and he was like, we gotta get him to do Braxi, which
Hmm.
is the Flatwoods monster. You're probably familiar with the Flatwoods monster
Yeah.
from Braxton, West Virginia. And so yeah, we did a Braxi themed beer called Braxi Blonde Ale.
That's awesome. And now, do you think, are they going to have you back to do some others, or that it
Yep,
for now?
yep.
Nice.
We have another one in the works. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to talk about it yet though.
All right. Well, don't. I don't want to get you in trouble. So, but that's
Yeah,
exciting. That's really cool.
but
I
yeah.
mean,
So we got a couple more coming out.
yeah, nice. So, what would you say? Like, obviously, doing a beer can design is pretty cool to say that you've done that. What is one of your favorite artworks that you've done, or something you've done that you're like, this was a lot of fun and really cool, other than the beer can?
Yeah. Well, definitely the beer can was a bucket list kind of thing
Hmm.
for me. I've always wanted to do a beer label. Um, but lately I've been getting into like documentary illustration. So,
Hmm.
people approaching me that make documentaries that need, supplemental images, to go along with their voiceover or
Yeah.
whatever. Um, they've approached me to do that. So I've worked recently with Seth Breedlove of Small Town Monsters, and then also a new thing that I have going on right now, working with Monsters Among Us and Blurry Photos podcasts. They have a documentary coming out called Shadows in the Desert. Um, High Strangeness in the Borrego Triangle is the full title of that film.
Okay.
But that'll come out next year, and I've been doing a whole bunch of illustrations for that.
Very cool.
But yeah, so that's something that I'm really excited about, is getting into more of like doing like film stuff
Mhm.
and illustrating for documentaries.
That's a very cool. And now, I'm curious because a lot of your stuff is cryptid. How did you get into the cryptid, like doing the monsters? What drew you to that? That's no pun intended. What drew you to that subject matter?
Well, I've always been into like stories, like mythologies, and
Mhm.
monsters, and my whole life basically. It started very very young. Um, excuse me. Actually, I have right here the book that actually started it all for me. I can show that. You can read that. It
Loch
says
Ness
The Loch
monster.
Ness Monster,
Yes.
by Elwood Bauman. And this is a book that I would rent religiously from my elementary school library. And that, and then, like they had a whole bunch of Bigfoot books in my library as well. So, I mean, even as a little kid, like cryptids were huge on my radar. So,
Yeah.
and then, as an artist, I would take the stories and then, just kind of craft my own, you know, comic books and, stuff like
Yeah.
that. So, I mean, it's just always been there for me.
That's all. That's excellent. Like, so who is your favorite monster to draw?
To draw, probably Sasquatch.
Okay.
Um, I have been sort of branching out into, some of the lesser known cryptids, like the
Mhm.
Snallygaster, of course, with the Teddy Roosevelt painting. Let's see. I really enjoy drawing. Let's see. I like drawing the Dog Man as well.
Okay.
I've been kind of into Dog Man recently for some reason. I listen to the Dog Man Encounters Radio a lot. That's a pretty cool podcast if you want to check that out. Um, but yeah, I mean, I think primarily though Sasquatch probably like is my number one cryptid to draw.
He's the most famous. He like seems to be everywhere. Like, or
He
there's a
he's the
version of
most
him.
famous, but I don't know if it's the fame that really draws me to it. It's just like the the melding of human and
Human and
animal
yeah.
that I think to I do a lot of research on Google, just like looking through photos of, different types of great apes,
Mhm.
um, and then just kind of like trying to take, those photos and then kind of meld them a little bit with like human features. And I don't know,
Mhm.
it's just kind of a fun exercise, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it takes a lot of talent. Like all your stuff that I've seen, you're obviously phenomenally talented. Like because your stuff is just amazing, and like you said, the Teddy Roosevelt one, it looks like would at first glance it looks like an old photo, and then then you look again, it's like, oh, this is a drawing, and so it's
Yeah,
like it's
see,
pretty
that's
cool.
exactly what I was going for. So that's great to hear.
Yeah.
I did a lot of research on um, Teddy Roosevelt and actually like his um, his safaris and stuff. Like they
Hmm.
would take a lot of photos on these safaris, and they have a whole bunch of them online that you can take a look at. Um, and one of them, he was like standing over top of an elephant that he had just
Hmm.
killed, and I was like, that would be a really good reference for this photo, or for this mock, Snallygaster photo.
Hmm.
So that was one that I primarily used for
Very
that
cool.
image.
Yeah, it looks legit. It looks. I can't wait to get to the Snallygaster Museum because I know it's going to be hanging in there, the original probably, and so
Mhm.
I mean that's going to be cool, and hopefully it's going to be on T-shirts as well because I will get one of those. And
Yeah, we're working on an image. See, the way that photo is, it's not like, it's not printable very well, on a
Mhm.
t-shirt. So we're working on, like a more like a vectorized, black and
Yeah.
white image of that same scene for the t-shirt.
Oh, okay. So I was curious, like from the process you go through from idea to completion, how long does it normally take you to do something like that? Like the Snallygaster or the beer can or any of them, like on
I
average.
mean, so it's kind of different, like with the beer can, there's a whole lot of like approvals and stuff that you need to go through, and hoops you need to jump through. And like, so like when I was designing beer can, um, the elements that are there, may change a little bit. So and then, based on what you need to actually have on a beer can legally, like, the barcodes, and um, the Surgeon General
Ingredients, yeah.
warning, and that kind of stuff. So you got to think about that as well. And of course there's, people, higher ups that need to say, okay, yeah, I like this, I like this, can you change this? And so it really depends on, who you're working with. And
Mhm.
the brewery was awesome. They kind of gave me, free range as well. Like, I'm really looking forward to, a long relationship with them, and uh, working on several beer cans with them. But like something like the Snallygaster photo, Sarah, would just say, "Hey, I'm thinking about this image of, Teddy Roosevelt on the Snallygaster hunt," and then she would just set me off on it. So, like, and then I could just do whatever I wanted. So I mean, and something like that, I mean, I would do my research, jump into, finding photos of, Teddy Roosevelt, maybe do some research on like one of his safaris or something like that, and kind of, get into it a little bit, figure out what medium I want to work with, whether I want to, actually set up a canvas and paint something, or, you know, get into it with the iPad and just do like a digital painting, which that was actually a digital painting, not a, not
Okay.
a, not a real like canvas painting. Um, and then, I just, put a few hours into it every now and then, and try to get it done.
Oh, very cool. It's really cool. Like, so I want people to be able to see your stuff. So if you want, like, I know if you want to tell them your like where they can find you on Instagram, Facebook, or a website, and like if you want to
Sure.
share those.
I mean, the best place would probably be on Instagram.
Mhm.
Um, and my handle on Instagram is Jonathan Dodd _ draws.
Mhm.
And
I'll put a link
yeah,
below in this so people can click right on it. But
cool. Yeah. So that's probably the best way to see stuff. I also do have a website, which um, I put stuff on there every now and then.
mhm.
And all my contact information is on there as well. That's jonathandoddraws.com.
Cool. And so obviously you do commissions. If somebody wanted to hire you, they could like
Oh
contact
yeah.
you
Yeah.
and
Yeah, hit me up on Instagram Messenger, or I have a contact sheet on my website as well.
very cool. Yeah. And I suggest everyone who's out there listening or watching uh to go to his Instagram and see. his amazing work and then actually go purchase some of it and because it's super cool, especially if you're into like the cryptid and the monsters and the folklore. You're gonna be like, oh my gosh, this is like I said, like the Teddy Roosevelt thing. Like first glance, it looks like an old photo, and I can't wait to have it all hanging behind me because it's gonna add a lot because it's such a cool thing, and I loved it. And I
Well,
know you're.
that's awesome. I'm honored that you're going to have my painting
Oh yeah.
in your office.
Yeah,
That's
and
awesome.
like, and then as you do other side, if I can get the beer cans, I'll have them on that little table there. I'll like have a little
Yeah.
pyramid of beer cans, and because that'll
It'll
be
look like
cool as
a
well.
college dorm room.
Yeah, it'll be like going back to school all over again, man. Like just sitting in a room talking to people and having beer everywhere. That's that's all I remember of college.
And
And
that's the dream. That's the
yeah.
dream.
So, but I know you're busy and you have things to do, and I want to thank you for coming on and
No problem.
appreciate it. And I hopefully we can have you come back as maybe when you get another beer can done and you can announce, or if you have something going on you really want to tell people about, like if you have an event coming up or whenever, like just let me know. I'd love to have you come back on and just we can talk more
Cool.
art as these different films come out. You can come on and tell us about it, and
Yeah, yeah, I would love that. That'd be really cool. I'll let you know if I have anything that I think needs to be spread to the masses. I
oh,
really
definitely.
appreciate
Yeah,
that.
please
Thank
let
you.
me know. And like, and if the people doing the films want to come on, let them know. I'd love to talk to them
Yeah.
about the stuff. But again, thank you. And for those of you listening, thank you for tuning in. And as always, stay safe and keep searching.
Check out fedoracrt.com today.